Geek Gamer Weekly is brought to you by our very own Roku app for Geek Gamer TV. You can go back and watch the back catalog of Geek Gamer Weekly, Minecraft Me, our specials from PAX Prime, E3, and soon-to-be CES 2014. To grab that app today, go to ggtv.me/Roku. This is Geek Gamer Weekly, episode 264, recorded on Sunday, August 31st, 2014. This is the PAX Prime 2014 recap show. Hey guys, welcome again to another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly. At least, well, that's what it's called right now. And we're chatting about PAX Prime 2014 and any other various topics. We really don't have an official rundown, but thanks for joining us, you guys. Thanks for downloading the show. If you're still downloading the show, because really, I think the downloads went to about 50 or 60 because we hadn't did a show for like 2 months. But welcome, you guys. This is a much casual edition of the show, but the great news is everybody is here in studio, hanging out and having fun. So, let's talk. First, joining us, not just one, not just two, but three of my very good friends. First off,
it's only two of us on the screen there, though.
Well, I know we're getting around. We're getting around here. Yeah. So there's John on the left side, Cameron on the right side. No, that doesn't work for that shot, John.
Yes, I know.
Hi, John.
Hi.
How are you?
Just ducky.
Very good. Very good. And Cameron, how are you, man?
Groovy.
You feeling good being up here?
Yeah. Got a nice nap in. I feel great.
Yeah, very good. Also, this guy, he was just on a show earlier.
I was.
Yeah.
Go, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Hi.
How are you?
Double show,
Good.
Joe.
You know, I can actually see what you have the camera mounted on shaking.
Well, don't shake the table.
Like it's not secured all the way.
Well, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
We're going to find out.
And we also decided, since Cameron's in front of a nice red curtain, we're going to give him his own shot. So when he needs to give his dictation speech, as a dictator would, in front of the red flag, you're going to... Joe, what are you doing over there?
What? Nothing.
Stop it.
I fixed it. Now it's not shaking.
Okay.
I just tightened up the little lock ring on it.
All right, fair enough. Carry on.
Yeah, darn right.
And then we decided to come up with a new way of kind of, showing everything off, and that would be this shot right here.
Yeah.
A new quad shot.
The side quad shot.
Right. Side quad shot. I got to turn that off. There's just too much noise hitting some mic somewhere.
Okay.
You guys don't hear it because I'm the only one that has to wear headphones right now.
Yep.
Right.
What was that, man? So, PAX. What do you guys think so far? It started on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and really it started way before that with PAX Dev, but we didn't do that or anything like that.
Well, media's not invited to PAX Dev.
Are they not? Can they
Never.
not sneak in that?
Nope.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. But what were your expectations going into this year's PAX? And then we'll talk about this year's PAX. But anybody?
Didn't really have any expectations going in.
Really?
I didn't pay a whole lot of attention beforehand. I like to just go in and be surprised and go, ooh.
Yeah.
And all the fun stuff.
Well, what made you go, ooh?
I really like that cannon brawl, actually.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I still got that. I got so much video to have to scrub through. It came out great the second time around. It's amazing what you can do when you throw light on video. I mean, it's amazing technology.
Aziz was missing there on the Monday.
Well, isn't it? Who can't see very well? Isn't it?
I guess that's me.
No, you can't hear very well. It's you. You couldn't see very well, right, Cameron?
Yeah.
That's what it was. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hoser Death in the chat room is saying expected for boobs. Is that actually? The boob count is down this year. There's no booth babes really, right? Maybe like one.
There were a few. I mean,
no, they all got hired over at Wargaming.
There were a couple over at Wargaming. Yeah. I mean, there were a handful of them over there, but there were a few in other places too. Just so PAX has sort of I don't want to say oppressive stance on booth babes, but they don't allow the skimpy outfits. If you really want skimpy outfits, you got to go to, I think it's Computex. Isn't that the one in Taiwan?
Computex? I've never heard of Computex.
We
Really?
should totally go.
You've never heard of? I think it's Computex Taipei. Yeah,
I've
never heard of Computex.
I've heard of Comdex, but not Computex. Never heard of that.
Computex. It's a huge Asian trade show.
Really?
Yeah,
And we would know a lot of people there.
Actually,
which is
yeah.
scary.
Mm-hmm.
Computex Taipei. There it is.
it is.
For more than 3 decades. So this is the place to go to for booth babes. Is what you're saying?
I think so.
Okay.
That's the place to go to see.
That doesn't look
all
like
the
a
new
booth
stuff.
babe. Oh, okay.
Well, they're not going to show the booth babes on their on their page.
Well, they should.
Yeah, if you yeah,
Just do a Google
Yeah.
image search.
you can just do a Google image search for Computex booth babes, and you'll find some listings.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, well,
Mhm.
good show.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Friday. So we went in for the press hour. We stopped by the Behemoth booth. Sorry, we missed you, Cameron.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron was
Yep.
I was working.
Yep.
he was working, but we got food.
Got food.
We charged up our day, and then we hit the indie booth running.
We
Yep.
did.
No, there's probably a good amount of stuff coming out
Like,
of the industry.
There
Yeah,
actually were
yeah.
some pretty innovative and cool ideas for games. The one that I keep coming back to that I think is just a brilliant concept. I've no idea how it plays because we didn't actually try it.
Yeah.
Is called Screen Cheat.
yes,
And everybody out there who's, let's say, over 25-ish should remember playing GoldenEye on the N64, and that was a fantastic game. Tons of fun. Multiplayer, you'd play it split screen up to 4 people on one TV at a time.
Yep.
And the thing was, of course, everybody. You always yelled at your friends not to do it, but everybody always did it. They would screen cheat. They would look at the other screen, see where you were, so they could come and find you and shoot you.
Right.
Or you would do it to them. Well, this game sort of takes that a little further. You actually can't see your opponents on your screen. They're invisible.
Right.
So you can see traces of where they are. You can see their weapon flares, stuff like that, but you can't actually see them. Hey, you got to click allow.
I know. I was trying to kind of. You're a little tinny. I was trying to fix that.
Well, you got to click allow because there's still a big.
I know. There you go.
You're
It's
terrible about that.
It's good to go.
And your mouse is in the middle of the screen.
Oh, all right.
Man.
Your OCD is like on overtime, man.
You're one to talk. Holy smokes, man.
More lights.
Anyway, so the concept for this game I think is just brilliant. I love the idea. I'm looking forward to giving it a try. I think it's going to be a really good LAN game. That's one place I really want to try it. So I want to make sure I can get a copy before a LAN party I'm going to in a couple weeks here, and see if we can get a game going on the big screen because this just has such a cool idea to it. You have to look at the other players' screens in order to figure out where they are and what you should be shooting at.
Right.
And all the levels seem to be color-coded pretty well, so you can tell where somebody is just by the color they have, the color of the terrain they're in, so you can glance really quickly and get a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the game concept is just fantastic. I'm really looking forward to trying it.
So you guys talked about Screen Cheat. You know, we really liked it. I've been saving this for you guys. I've actually wanted to reveal it to you guys that one of the programmers of Screen Cheat reached out to me and gave me not just one, not just 2, not just 3, but 4
Awesome.
game codes.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
you guys are taken care of.
Cool.
Thanks, Screen
Sweet.
Sheet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Game Sheet. Looking forward to giving it a try. That does look like an awesome game.
Tear
Yeah.
it up at the LAN party and see how it goes.
Oh, yeah. Big
Yeah,
time.
totally.
On a projector with a couple hundred people watching. Oh, yeah, that'll be
Nice.
fantastic.
You know, one of the games that what we saw in the indie game area, and I'm going to pull it up, is Hand of Fate. And this was the game. It was a single-player game, but basically they had a Kickstarter where the game, and they did reach their goal. I'll show it off to everybody here. So it's not just a deck-building game, but it's also like kind of a hack and slash, mash on the buttons. Oh, there's sound here. I'll turn that down. But basically, you build your deck. Yes?
Or allow.
I keep having to allow. Stop that. Stop the allow stuff. But basically, not only you build your deck, but then you go into this mode where the players, you actually control the players, and you have to just destroy your enemies and stuff.
The,
Now this is the Kickstarter video. So he's actually talking about it right now. But we actually did an interview, so we'll show you all that when we post that later. But yeah, you build your deck, you go out, you fight. The one thing I wish there was, like, you're going against another player. That's the only
It's
drawback.
single player only. Yeah.
Single player
At this
only,
point,
but the
at least,
graphics
yeah.
are just
Oh, it's
awesome.
The
great.
graphics are really, really
Yeah.
nice.
That's
it is a
just
very
what
beautiful game.
blew me away.
Yeah.
I liked having the first time seeing it here, the whole deck manipulation.
Yeah, the way it kind of flies in the air and
Yeah.
kind of floats around. That
And
sort of thing.
everything was really fluid.
Hey, there's Morgan right there. We
that
talked to
was the guy we
him,
actually
and
interviewed.
that must be their development studio there, where they're working on the art and stuff. He looks less tired there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely true.
But yeah, no, I like that kind of game. And they have the computer, whatever that thing is, the dealer sitting across the table from you, and it looks natural. It looks like, and that's exactly what they were going for and stuff, which is cool. So, what about you, John? Was there any game that kind of, I don't know, popped out at you, jumped out at you from the weekend?
Not that it's a big game, or something that I really play a lot. I just like the one you were just showing you, the Hand of Fate.
Yeah.
That one I thought just looked awesome.
Yeah.
I was actually pretty impressed with that.
Now, I know we're going to go back and check out, I want to keep saying Last Starfighter, but I know it's not. That's not it.
Enemy
Starfighter.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's like an Oculus game.
Well, it's
But it's not,
a
right?
space combat game. I think it's
Right.
sort of the idea is, so there's a lot of people, and I'm one of them, who remembers X-Wing versus TIE Fighter really fondly. Only, of course, that property is very owned and you can't really do your own homebrew version of it, especially not if you want to make it a commercial product ever. But the space combat idea is really, really attractive. So this solution, or this particular guy, came up with the idea to, I'll do it myself.
Right.
And he did. So it's a space combat simulation, or a fighter simulation, and it is it's sort of like X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, where you're fighting against other ships. You have different weapons. You have different ships available. Really kind of a cool thing. But then he did add Oculus support. So if you have a Dev Kit 1 or Dev Kit 2, you can use it in this game, and you'll get full vision all the way around, just like you're sitting in the actual cockpit, which is really, really cool. Now, I believe the only downside to it is it's not available yet. He's still in development. It's one guy working on it, and hopefully he'll be out. He'll have a release soon, but right now it's still in development. But it looks really promising. And I think he's gotten a lot of interest in it from this game. The line there, the entire time we were there, the line was all the way out the booth and down the hall. I mean, it was a big line to give this thing a try.
Well, the one thing he was telling us was that, he wanted people to have a good experience with it and not give them like a 1-minute demo and then like, all right, on your way,
Yeah, he had it said
There you go.
like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Person, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and these are all in the mega booth. So even though the mega booth says mega in it, the individual booths for the games are quite small.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they really only have a couple of demo stations for each game, which is part of why it was slow to move people through his booth.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a big constant line there, and the game looked fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to giving it a try. Both regularly, just sitting down with a good joystick and throttle, and also with an Oculus. I'm really looking forward to trying that.
Yeah, no, it's... So you got a Dev 2 kit, right?
I have a Dev Kit 2, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those things where this year we were trying to figure out what we're going to do for PAX, and I was like, well, let's focus a little bit more on the indie stuff, and I'm really glad that we did. I think I was a little bit over anxious and trying to do every single
Let's do all of
booth.
them.
Let's do all of them.
Yeah.
But that being said, if we didn't do any of them, I mean, you get all these mainstream games, but man, we're learning and checking out some games that we probably would never even known about, because a lot of people, they go, oh, that's small game area. No, I'm interested in Sunset Overdrive, or I'm interested in The Crew, or I'm interested in all these other major big titles.
Yeah, I've never heard of Enemy Starfighter. I've never heard of Hand of Fate. Why do I want to do that? I'm going to go check out Sony's booth or Nintendo's booth,
Right.
or Microsoft's.
Right.
Yeah, and I think honestly that's a mistake, because a lot of the really innovation in games, a lot of the really cool features that are going to be in the next set of games are coming out of the indie market right now.
Yeah.
and they're things that people who don't have to meet $1 million plus budget.
Yep.
are able to get away with. They can experiment and try whatever the heck they want.
Yeah, totally.
And they're not under the studio head trying to pump out the next AAA title.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you'll never see
reach a ship date and the shipping broken.
Right. Yeah. You'll never see Call of Duty or Battlefield take any major risks. It's going to be the same basic title every time. They'll change stuff a little bit, but it's still going to be the same game every time. And they just can't risk it because it's too valuable and expensive a title to do any real experimentation with.
Yeah. But yeah, games is just one part of PAX. Another major part of PAX is just really the experience of panels. This is probably the first PAX I've ever been to in a number of years where I didn't go to any panels.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing that we didn't, I mean, I know some of us, I didn't really look at them too hard, I'll be honest. I
kind of flipped through them. I didn't see anything that really grabbed my attention as far as must see.
Yeah, there really weren't all that many that caught my eye. A lot of them, some of them have become more about a company showing off their game or somebody talking about how proud of themselves they are because they can do whatever.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't think they're as necessarily interesting anymore. For some people go to them, I think, just for the opportunity to see the people who are there.
Right. Yeah.
Which is not really what I want out of a panel. I'd love to go to a panel and get more information about it or that sort of thing. But it's hard to. It's hard to because and the other thing though too is when it compared to the average gamer, we're probably really well informed.
Yeah.
We try to keep onto it as best we can. So a lot of the stuff they're going to talk about is stuff that we maybe heard of months ago and have been aware of. So it's not that big a deal. But I can see why some people would want to go to them, especially if they're not up to date, if they're, it's not something they're interested in. And there are people, like I said, who just want to go and see whatever celebrity they want to see, that sort of thing.
By the way, completely unrelated, but I accidentally stumbled in to a config page for Enemy Starfighter's website, and guess what it's built on? Squarespace.
Nice.
Config page. There is one interview, actually, believe it or not, that I was able to not only get completed and edited, but uploaded. And I'll pull it up for you guys to check it out here on this show. All of the coverage that we've been doing over the past few days will be uploaded and placed on our YouTube channel and website. And so I got to sit down with GEEK CHIC, and that's the one I got done first here. So let me cue that up for you guys so you guys can check that out. But yeah, do I have to click allow on this one too?
Probably.
Possibly.
It's possible. So
no.
Well, let's show this to you guys here. I know you guys don't have headphones, so it's gonna suck for you guys to try to hear.
I have headphones. Ha! I stole the only set.
Right? Yeah. There we go. So here's the interview with GEEK CHIC, so you guys can check this out.
I was there. I know what you said.
Yeah,
that's true. But these guys. Hey guys, Chase here, finally sitting down at PAX, and we're here at the GEEK CHIC booth, and I'm here talking with Ruth. Now, a lot of you guys play a lot of games. I love playing games, especially tabletop and card games, but you might not think about the furniture that you're playing on. Maybe you're playing on a table from a store that you bought years ago.
Kitchen table.
Yeah. Ruth, talk to me about GEEK CHIC and their tables.
So all of our tables, they're all made to order. Basically, you choose the size, you choose even the height. This seems a little low for you. I'd maybe go a little tall.
I'm 6'5". She's actually about 6 foot. So, but this is fair enough. But
yeah.
All right. So they're made to order.
Yeah, made to order. And basically, the biggest things to be a GEEK CHIC customer is to know the price point that you're looking for, and really being okay with our time, because it takes a while to make our tables. In general, as long as you're fine with the price point, that's kind of when it's time to deposit, because we work with you on everything. In terms of the sizing, in terms of the choice of wood, the height, like what we were just talking about, and all the configurable options.
So talk to me. Let's say I'm going to buy a table, which I actually am in the market right now for a dining room table. What would the process be if somebody's going to go ahead and pull the trigger on a custom table? Take me through the steps.
So if you're at a show, we kind of go over all of the features of the table that you're kind of looking for and kind of suss out what makes sense for you. What style you like, whether it's the emissary that we're sitting at versus another one. Overall, we're just looking... Sorry, this is very distracting. It's like in my face. Yeah.
To be clear, she's talking about the microphone.
Oh, no,
Just
I
to be
get that.
clear.
I get that. And then we're basically looking to know your price point that you're looking for, and if it's going to double as a dining room table or if it's just really specifically a game room table. But when we're going over an order and when somebody deposits us at a show, we're looking to get down your usage scenario. That way we can go over the pros and cons, basically, of all the features of the table, because really what we're looking to do when you order a table is to first off make sure you're getting the right size, because you may have all the space in the world, but if you're playing Settlers of Catan at a giant table, and that's mainly what you play in other Euro games, doesn't make a lot of sense to necessarily have the biggest, longest table. So we kind of go over all of that and then all of the features with it to just make sure that your usage scenario makes sense with what you're getting.
What's the kind of price ranges and usually the turnaround time? Say somebody's looking to do this, what are they looking at?
So for our main dining room tables, the emissary, minimalist, they usually range between about $3,000 and $7,000. In terms of timelines right now, we're looking at about 12 to 16 months. In general, from deposit to delivery, we've delivered anywhere between 10 and 15
Nice modeling,
months.
by the way, gents.
And it really
Very
just
nice.
is dependent on how our production's
made John be the
doing
hand
and
model.
everything, because
What about, look at this here.
we hand make and actually
Yeah,
home
nice
deliver
job.
all of our
talent.
tables.
Look at that.
Look at that.
So
Nice
I know
grabbing
you
there.
live
Picks it
pretty
up and he
close
puts
to
it
us.
down.
So we would
I saw my
actually
feet in
come
there,
out.
too.
Your table's actually all crated, and it's actually in several crates. And we GEEK CHIC employees come, set up your table, take away all the crates, make sure it functions correctly, you remember how to use it, and then we're good to go.
Wow, I mean, it's really cool. Just in maybe a minute, I know there's a lot of great features, but what are some of the best features that your tables have to offer?
So the main features of our tables that they all cover up with hardwood leaves. So they can be a regular dining room table. In fact, what we're showing here is kind of a game scenario. In this table, we kind of have interior desks on the long sides and the ends. And what this is showing is basically, this is actually one of the hardwood leaves right here.
Look at her now doing some table construction during the interview.
And your business card.
My
set up.
business card.
Hold
just
on
went away.
here. I'm trying to do this one-handed, but
I got
yeah, okay, you got it. Okay. Wow, this
It's
really
about an
durable.
inch thick of just solid hardwood.
And this stuff's made to last. This is not something that you're going to go buy at the store and it's going to fall apart on you in a couple years or anything like that.
Yeah, well, and so it's the thickness of the wood. It's all solid hardwood. And then the finish that we actually have on here, it's clear in terms of its pigment, but it's actually conversion varnish. So if you set like a glass of ice water on it, it doesn't actually do anything. Like I have one of our tables and I drink ice water on it.
No coasters is what you're saying.
Coasters, yeah, nothing directly out of the oven. It's still hardwood and it still just has a really durable finish on it. Yeah.
So these are beautiful tables. Obviously, not everybody's going to be here at the show. What's the best place if they want to learn more information and get more info from me?
So usually what people do is look on our website, and then basically if they were to email sales and ask us for more information, we do have a certain amount of documentation to send you, and since everything's so specific to how you're going to be using it, we try to put a good touch of information on our website, but when we overwhelm people with options, it's kind of like a brain explosion. So we just try to work on the size first because that denotes a certain amount of options, and then work on the usage scenario and kind of ballets, I'm one of them, work with you and try to figure out what works best.
Well, I'm definitely going to get your information for sure, Ruth, and maybe get the process started for my custom table. But hey, thanks so much for talking with us. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So there you go. There's the
Yeah.
there's our coverage from one of the things from PAX 14. But yeah, that was Ruth. She was really cool. Their tables, by the way,
Gorgeous.
Yeah, they are really, really nice.
But
tables.
also you pay for what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't really specify too much about price, but they are expensive. Like
They're not made in China though.
No,
that's
no,
the
no,
important
no.
thing. Yeah.
no, they're
They're
actually made literally 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah, they're local here.
They're local. The Emissary, which is a smaller, not as a big size table, but say for example, say 2 feet 4 inches by 5 feet. You're looking at $3,000. But then again, it's all sustainable woods from the Northwest, probably, hopefully.
I really like
she
that.
couldn't say where they were from.
She did say they were sustainable woods.
Sustainable.
She just didn't know exactly where they were sourced. But yeah, they're made what here in Everett, right? I mean, just a few miles away from where we are now, and yeah, you don't have to worry about them shipping in a container from China or anything like that.
No,
they're made right here. Now there is also, we asked her later, there is a bit of a delay on orders.
Yeah.
If you put an order in today,
their
estimate is that you'll probably have your table in 12 to 16 months.
Yes.
Which is kind of a long wait, but you know what? It's an awesome table, and that is a huge step up from the old folding card table that I think everybody grew up with.
Everything is, and it can't be emphasized enough, everything is customizable.
Yeah.
The height, the length, the width.
Yeah.
You can fit it to your house perfectly. And the chairs, by the way, we didn't really chat about the chairs too much, but they call it an 8-hour wooden chair. It's tilted just a smidge to in front, and it cups your butt really nice, especially if you're a big guy. And it works great. I mean, I was very comfortable during the interview. It was fun.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, we've seen them at PAX for the past few years, and we haven't talked to them, and I'm glad we did.
No. We walked by a number of times going, those are cool.
Those
I
are
like
cool.
them.
Those are
Expensive. Let's move on.
Yeah. That coffee table, the Rift, that looked really nice. They didn't have the Rift there.
No.
That was the one that
that was one of the pictures you showed was of the Rift.
On the wall.
Yeah.
One of the pictures early on in the video,
Yeah.
and it's a really but all their furniture is really really nice, and if you're equipping a dining room or you're looking to upgrade, maybe dining room furniture is expensive anyway. If you can get a table that does way more than just
there's
table.
compartments to put your stuff in, like the coffee table, like you could put all your video game stuff in and still make it look very, very nice.
Yeah, and they have the foam cutouts for controllers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, customizable drawers and benches and
right.
You know what? If you come up with an idea that they like, they probably would figure out a way to make it for you too.
Absolutely.
So they're working on desks.
Yeah,
which were beautiful, equally nicely made, wonderful desks.
Did they even have that listed shown on their site?
They don't have the desks. He said they don't have the desks on their site yet.
Oh, that's
the
true.
desk that they had at the show that they were demoing, the finish on it dried Thursday.
Yeah.
PAX opened Friday.
Yes.
So
wow.
So yeah, I mean it's definitely a new product from them. But what they told me was keep an eye on the website, and they will have info on those desks and availability soon. But yeah, all their stuff is just beautiful and all made to order, handmade. With machines, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
It's not mass produced. It's really, really, really
yeah,
nice.
each one's a
furniture.
one-off, or
I got a real short video to show. A lot of people might have missed this. I know Cameron was
That
there.
is super high res.
Yeah, I know. This is
Oh,
240p. By the way.
yeah, that's right.
So this is me on the right there. John's on the left.
Good
Joe's on the camera. Actually, he's on his iPhone.
Yeah.
And that's the queue room. So this is during press hour. And what you're going to see now is an entire not the entire walkthrough, but
a quick walkthrough
from one
a big
end
part
to the other end of the expo.
From one end of Expo to the other end of Expo.
Yeah, so there goes Joe. He is off now. There was, I think, the World of Tanks booth just back there.
Wargaming and
Wargaming Twitch booth there.
Yep.
And we make a right turn. Intel's to the left.
You can see there
Games
went
booth. Right now, Geek Chic's on the right there.
Yep.
Right there. Yep. You're going to see it right there.
Oh,
I forget what that game was. Ubisoft, of course.
Yep.
And then
Nintendo
over here
on
we're
the
heading into the
right.
indie booth. We're actually going to hit the indie booth in just a minute here.
And we are now in the indie
This
booth.
is the Indie Mega booth.
And here comes Joe right into that. Bam! Right there.
Oh.
That was
you didn't drag that last frame out a little.
No, that
while?
was it.
Well, no, you could have froze on that last frame for.
I just posted it directly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, that was a quick walkthrough. That was actually kind of fun to do.
Christopher,
You know what? I'm glad we did it during the press hour because we never would have been able to do that during normal hours when
Oh,
all
not
the
that
regular
fast.
attendees. Because
it would have we didn't do a longer one or something.
Yeah, it would. If we'd done it, if we'd tried to do it during regular hours, it would have just been people. That's all you would have seen. Just people.
Just people.
Just the backs of people the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
Excuse me. Pardon me. I have to go by.
Yeah, exactly.
On my way. Yeah.
Anything you liked from what you saw at least yesterday, Cameron? Because I know we're gonna be heading back tomorrow, but anything from yesterday that you liked?
I really didn't have a chance to stop and study anything. So, I mean, aside from Castle Brawl, which I really liked the look of, it kind of reminded me of a real-time Worms.
What was that game that was 3-on-3?
That was upstairs.
I know.
Let me look for it. You guys talk about Castle Brawl. I'll look for it.
That and
Castle Brawl is beautiful.
The
gorgeous game.
The booth that Umberto was at.
Oh, the VR.
Yeah. That had some potential to it.
Yeah, I actually have that.
To it,
well, you had, Prio VR. That's what it was.
Yeah, but that's more of a demonstration of the tech that he's
the
working on
technology,
versus
right?
Not the shooter program that they had running.
Yeah. Tyrion wants to know in the chat, John, seen any good anime besides The Awesomeness at PAX? We can go off track a little bit. What have you been watching in the living room? Like you're so hooked on that you have to watch.
All right, let me bring this. Actually, I'll tell you what. While Joe's looking for his stuff, I got to bring up Crunchyroll here for real quick to look at my queue.
Okay. All right.
So Fairy Tail got the new season out on that.
Yes.
Been watching that.
That was cool.
Man, hold on. Let me back this up. Queue. There we go. That's better. See if the program's not going to crash. Sword Art Online, Fairy Tail is out. All the No Zeros. That's been a great one. The regular at Magic High. I think that's the name of the one.
Okay.
That one's, and these are all simulcast, folks. These are ones that are, I wait weekly to watch the new episode. Captain Earth, Akame ga Kill, Hunter versus Hunter still out there. Rooster Teeth just rebooted their second series for their Ruby series. So that's been fun. Argo Volin out there.
This is the John Anime Report here on the Geek Gamer Show.
These are my picks of what's coming out, out on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is the only place I've been watching stuff. And then, and there's a couple others, but I'm not going to mention them.
All right, fair enough. Well, I mean, the thing is, with PAX, it goes by so fast, and it's information overload. And I'm actually glad that we've done all these interviews and all these recordings, because when I go back and I start editing this stuff, I go, wow, oh yeah, I remember that's so good. And then, wow, that's good. And oh, wow, that's good. And then all of a sudden, you have all these, you're just information overload with everything. We did cover a mainstream game, no video, interviews or anything like that, but we did get more information about World of Warships.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not optimized yet, but from what we saw, it was just gorgeously beautiful looking. I mean,
was the water like water?
It was.
Were the ships like ships?
Yes, and the detail and accuracy of the ships, they pay attention to, and they take very, very seriously.
So the game's real-time CGI. Just about
real-time computer graphics.
Well,
yes.
I meant.
I think just about any game on a
computer.
Well, no, I meant like it's a CGI look, to what you're doing on screen, instead of just CGI cut screens.
Yeah,
is what I meant, like real time with photorealistic graphics. Because every time is going to be a whatever you got going on screen is going to be different every time you play the game.
I guess one
generally.
So the game you were thinking of, that arena game where it's sort of like a mix between hockey, soccer, and that's called Arena Cyber Evolution.
Okay.
And it is a early access game on Steam, so if you want to pick it up, you can. It does appear to be free.
That's right. That's right. I remember what he said.
But there are DLC packs already available based on what access level you want in terms of extra features. So they have an Ace supporter pack, a founder pack, a champion pack, and a pillar pack.
Yeah. So this thing, there's different characters. I equate it to obviously like Carball. Yep. I also throw a little bit of original Nintendo hockey, ice hockey, because you got the big guys, you got the medium guys, you got the slow, super big guys. But the cool thing is everybody's got to work together. There's a spectator mode, so you can do calling of the games 3-on-3. You're commenting, Joe, that this game would be great, like on a big screen where everybody's watching and you have competitions and stuff.
Especially with a spectator mode.
Yeah.
I mean, at a LAN party, and so thinking about it from a LAN party point of view, 3-on-3 is really easy to get prizing for at a LAN party. 5-on-5, 6-on-6, 10-on-10. It's much more difficult. So I know from an organizer standpoint, this is a really, really good game for a LAN party. If people get into it.
The other thing too, by the way, that the guy who one of the developers of the game that we talked to, he was telling me that, hey, if you want to hook up and do some Twitch streams, we can do 3-on-3. Like say us versus them, or they'll host it or we'll host it on our stream. I mean, they're very competitive. Actually, if you look at their video on Steam, the next video is them playing foosball. They also go against like the Ubisoft Montreal studio, I believe, and they've done some games as well. So, it's a fun game. I was having a good time just watching you play. You actually played it, Joe.
Yeah, I actually played poorly at it. But no, it's a really, really fun game. And one of the nice things about it is there's a bunch of different classes you can play. And each class has its own special advantages. Some of like the character that's supposed to be the goalie class, you can really quickly, up 4 times per match, really quickly warp back to your goal and just appear there. Yeah. So if somebody's made a breakaway or anything like that, you can just boop, you're back at your goal and defend it. And all the other characters have some really cool features that are similar to that or equally useful. Speed boosts and stuff like that for depending on what you are.
There was a game that we were able to find out a little bit more yesterday. Oscar from We the Force Studios was at PAX, and we got to check out a game called Randall.
That was the one I was just about to mention.
Okay.
I really like the visual style of that game.
Yeah, and we actually will have video to show you guys. But this has been a long-term project for them, and right now, actually, there's their booth as they're setting up. They were telling us that it's going to be right now Sony exclusive. Mm-hmm. Don't know for how long, but it's going to be PlayStation 4, Vita. But the cool thing about this particular game is it's kind of got the choose your own adventure kind of a thing, where there's 4 different possible endings. You can have your character be strong, hack and slash, you're powering through, or you can be stealthy, use the force, as they say, and just kind of manipulate your way through the game. So there's many different ways to play the game. And it looked really, really cool. And the one thing that he was talking to us about was, to them, it was all about not only just graphics, but control. Snappy, strong, accurate controls.
Yeah, well, I was watching watching people play some of the jumping puzzles and stuff and whatnot. It's a good side scroller. It's been, I don't know, the last good side scroller I played, quite honestly.
Yeah, and what I love about it, honestly, really, really like about this particular game over other side scrollers, because there's a lot of indie side scrollers coming out right now, is the graphics are beautiful.
Yeah.
There's no 8-bit graphics here. It's really, really nice, really polished animations. And they did say that what we showed, or what they showed us is early, that they're still finalizing their artwork. They're not confident that it's going to be like this 100%. Definitely won't be like this 100%. But
sorry about the audio there, but this is just some pre-production stuff showing off some of their character models and development and stuff. And
but I love that it's not 8-bit. I mean, there's so many studios that are doing 8-bit games, and they're just...
Some of them are nice. Don't get me wrong. I mean, some of them are good. Like the Angry Video Game Nerd game. Have you played that game? It's in that 8-bit style, but it's awesome music, solid controls.
To me, honestly,
definitely good
if you're
to that
making
stuff.
A game with 8-bit graphics, it tells me that you are either not artistic enough to do something nicer looking, or you're lazy enough to not do something nicer looking. Because
I don't know if that's completely fair, though. I mean, some people like to go with that style.
And if that's what you want, that's fine. You can go and play those games. But there are so many 8-bit style games coming out now, and that design, those
Right.
kind of games,
Yeah.
were old in the 90s.
Yeah.
So everything old is new again, but we still make fun of the PT loser because
Well, the way I see it is, there were some great, there's obviously some great 16-bit side-scrolling adventure games, but also because of that era, some of the games suffered because of that. Like, there's so much stuff going on the screen at the same time. You would get blockiness or flickeringness, things that now today you wouldn't have that issue. You can add more colors and still have that 8-bit look. I don't think it's terribly a bad thing or shows non-creativity. I have to disagree
I think
because there's some good games that are solid and they have that look. They have
if your gameplay ideas are solid and all you can do is draw pixel graphics, that's fine. Do it. But don't expect me to buy into a game because it's pixel graphics because those are cool. Because they're not. They're old, and I don't care for them at this point. I mean, seriously, I stopped playing those games when I was 16.
You don't go back and play old stuff anymore?
No.
Wow. See, I still go back and play old classic titles. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I like it's a way for me to reconnect when I was younger. I mean, John, you must have gone back to Pong? I mean, at least black and white dots on the screen. I mean, for you at least.
Every time I close my eyes, I see that.
What about you, Cameron? Are you a classic game guy? Do you like old classic games? Do you ever go back to the old school?
I wish I could find it somewhere. I've got one of those old Atari Classic machines.
Oh,
so
like a 2600, 5200, something like that.
Yeah, 2600. I will sit and play Combat all day long if you'd let me.
Yeah. Combat. Oh, gosh.
The Tank Pong in particular was the one I got into.
The biggest problem I ever had playing Combat is, eventually your joystick, it's like you slam the joystick in a direction, it still wouldn't go, and then you would only go one direction. But I like old
truly
school
the golden
games.
age of gaming.
Yeah,
Clearly.
I know, but you know what? I like old
A
school
joystick
games.
and one button. I mean, that's
Like-
all we needed when I was a kid.
Like Contra. You ever play Contra, Joe?
Yeah.
Hours on end.
Yeah, it was pixel graphics trying not to look like pixel graphics, which is okay. But now we have pixel graphics that are trying to look like pixel graphics, which I think is a waste of the entire computer or gaming system or whatever you have. I mean, that honestly, that's my firm belief and opinion on this. Is you can make any defense you want to make to that, and my answer is going to be that's great. 12 years ago, I might have cared. 15 years ago, it might have been beautiful. Now, I have something that will draw what is almost indistinguishable from a real person on my computer
Of course, yeah, I know.
At 60 frames a second.
at 60 frames per
Right,
second.
yeah.
Use it. Don't make some excuse for, well, we wanted to go with pixel graphics because it's retro and that's what's cool and we like it. What I'm hearing is we couldn't draw well enough or design models well enough to do something better.
Is that what they're saying, or that's what just your impression? That's just
what most of the people who are saying we're doing, we did pixel graphics, that's what they're saying. They're saying we like pixel graphics because it's going back to
Easy.
basics, or it's that sort
cheap.
of thing. I mean, think about and they're huge, don't get me wrong, they're huge games that use pixel graphics, and they use it just because that's what they had available.
See,
now they've made it big, and it seems pretty clear that they would like to move away from that.
Well, like the
Super Meat Boy is a great example.
Well, like the Angry Video Game Nerd game, for example, for those who don't know, James Rolfe, Angry Video Game Nerd, reviewed old school, crappy video games, right? 8-bit era. A game was developed in that realm that to have that look. It would not be appropriate for that game to be designed with beautiful artwork, stunning 3D graphics, things like that, because it would not have been appropriate for a game of that nature with his name on it, essentially. And so to say, well, they just weren't talented enough to make better models, it depends. I think it really depends on the game, and it really depends on the title that they're going for. I bet you those guys that made that game they're very talented and probably incredible artists, but they're going for that particular style of game. I think you have to look at the style of game in the context of that.
Okay, so in that one situation, that kind of pixel graphic works because they're using it as an homage to previous games.
Right.
In a modern game, when they're not referring to any old style gaming, what's the defense for using pixel graphics?
I really don't know because, like I said, it comes down to what
when
they're going for.
Look at Randall. Randall's a beautiful game. The
Right.
gameplay footage we saw was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
nice. It
Yeah.
was a side-scroller I would play.
Right.
There were other titles in the indie booth that were side-scrollers that might have been fun to play, but the graphics were so I can't figure out how to do anything better than an NES, that they just were not interested.
Well, unless we actually talk to them and find out the hows and the whys to draw the conclusion based, just because they don't have great graphics means it's a crappy game. I think that's a little narrow-sightedness.
I didn't say it was a crappy game. I said they were lazy or non-artistic.
See, I think you can be very artistic and not have to have, a million polygons and, high.
I'm not saying they have to have a million polygons. Look, I mean, like I said, if we go back to the game Randall, or we go back to a lot of the games that are on this list, Nova 111 is a game we reviewed, and it's a side-scroller.
Yeah.
No pixel graphics.
Yeah. But
look at Enemy Starfighter with one guy.
Right, Enemy Starfighter with one guy. It's obviously not the high. It's not Battlefield 4 because it doesn't have $1 million studio.
But also, by the time it comes out, it could have 2 to 3 5-year-old graphics, because like you said, he's one guy. So by the time it comes out, it could be yesterday's news. The next,
Right, but he's not designing a game for a 1980s console.
Right.
He's designing a game for, even if he started 3 years ago, a machine from 3 years ago.
I just think it depends on the style of game and what they're looking for. I don't think it shows a lack of artistic ability. It just depends on what their vision of what they want to make their game to be. That's all.
I think too often their vision of what their game is, what they want it to be, is what they're capable of doing.
And I think the only way for us to fully know that is by asking them and not making those assumptions.
Well, then we'll have to ask a few of these guys, because
you can ask. I mean,
yeah.
for me, it doesn't bother me for the style of gameplay or the style of game that they're creating.
I think though the industry by and large agrees with me more, because we're seeing fewer and fewer pixel graphic games coming out or even being developed.
Right.
I mean, the last one really that was there at PAX was they had a new version of Super Meat Boy they were showing off.
Right.
And it was way more streamlined graphics than the old version.
Okay.
So there really weren't too many others at PAX that I remember, and none that really caught my attention.
Right. Did you play any?
No, we were too busy not doing interviews with anyone.
Right. All I'm saying is it depends on what they're going for, and just to say it's all about graphics.
I'm not saying it's all about graphics.
But it feels that's what you're saying.
No. I'm not saying it's all about graphics.
You're saying that they're not talented to have to invest in their art, and therefore you're not going to look at their games.
I'm saying if you're basing your game around pixel graphics, if you're saying this is what we're doing, I'm going to assume, whether it's a good game or not, that you're either lazy or not talented at drawing. Now,
so you're focusing on graphics. See, you don't even care about the gameplay. It could have the best controls in the world, the best gameplay, best story, but if it has no good graphics. Can you let
me finish, though?
But that's
Can you let me finish, though?
Sure.
Okay. If you're a reasonable game, okay, and you have good gameplay, you have good controls, all that kind of stuff, it's not hard to find someone to draw for you. Drawing is easier than programming. Trust me. It's not hard to find an artist. You'll find people willing to do some basic stuff for you just to get your game off the ground. But if you're not going to put the work into doing that, if all you care about is, let's get this thing out the door, how much investment should I put into that game being worth my time?
It just seems you're making a lot of assumptions based upon the graphics.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm basing how their attitude towards development on how they present themselves. It's the same thing. If I read a paper online and there's nothing but spelling errors, I'm not going to believe anything they say.
So now you're equating bad graphics to spelling errors.
I'm equating laziness in development, pushing a game out too fast before you have a chance to do anything, to laziness in writing a paper.
I disagree, and I will agree to disagree, and that's fine. Yeah. It's one of those things where unless we get we get a developer on that makes those kind of games with those kind of graphics, we'll never know. It's one of those things where for me,
well, I don't think we're going to find very many anymore, because everyone's moving away from them, because a lot of people feel the same way I do. I know people who say they won't play Minecraft because the graphics are terrible.
But most of your friends also have those high-end systems. I have a high-end system, and I still like the old school games.
But we're even talking about a game that's not coming out on PC.
Well, the Angry Video Game Nerd game is. It's on PC.
Yeah, but I'm talking... okay, it's coming out on PC. Is it coming out on anything else?
I don't know.
Okay, so Randall's coming out on PlayStation 3 and newer.
Yeah, right.
No. 3, 4, and Vita.
Right.
Vita is a reasonably low-powered system. I mean, compared to, let's say, your
sure.
average desktop PC.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
But they can manage to push some reasonable graphics on it.
But like I said, it's not always about graphics. And I think that's where we're coming to a head here. To you, it is. To me, it's not. That's really what it bears down to.
It's not always about graphics, but if you don't put the time into at least developing your graphics...
But you assume that's the problem. You assume that because they're not developing for graphics, that they either suck at art or something along those lines. But it's not always about that.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's the same thing with anything, though. It's all about how you present yourself and present your game. And if graphics are what catches or pushes people away, that's what you need to spend time on working. Think about the same thing with, we on Minecraft, we have the sponsor for the web stuff.
Yeah, Squarespace.
Yeah. Same thing there.
Right.
Beautiful website will draw people into the website. A terrible website, doesn't matter how good the content is, will push people away.
Right.
Graphics on a game, the exact same thing.
Like I said, I agree and disagree. I mean,
until a pixel graphic, an 8-bit pixel graphic game becomes a AAA title.
Like I said, that doesn't matter because you're equating graphics to motivation and talent factor. That you can't equate that because it goes back to the same thing. What is their target art? What are they going for? What kind of game are they trying to make? That's what it comes down to. I mean, there's multiple factors. It's not just about graphics. It feels like to me that's what we're talking about here.
So if you see two side scrollers, the exact same gameplay, everything is the same. One company,
show me one, and then I'll give you an honest opinion. But I'm not going to make a guess on that.
Okay. Well, I'm
because
just saying,
like I've seen games that for example, on the Xbox 360, there's a game called Tecmo Bowl. You've probably heard of that from the youth of the Nintendo. Well, especially Cameron, you're a sports guy. From the Nintendo days, there's two different modes: 8-bit graphic mode, or original mode, and then they have the skin refreshed mode. I found myself playing on the older school mode more because the controls were better. They were tighter, and it was a more fun experience. Yet the graphics on the other side looked great. Players' models looked awesome. The animations were really cool. Same controls, but they're looser. It just wasn't the same fun experience.
So again, that goes back to a lazy or incapable developer.
But it had nothing to do with it. But it had
you just
great
said
graphics.
it did.
But the graphics.
You just said the 8-bit graphics were more responsive. There's no reason why.
No, controls were more responsive.
Right, the 8-bit graphics, the controls were more responsive. There's no reason why with modern hardware you can't have high-end graphics and still have a game that plays exactly the same and is at least as responsive.
That's been a fight for years. It's what I'm saying is it didn't attract me to the game because of the better graphics. I didn't care. It's not about graphics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seriously, we F-Zero came out and those kind of graphics disappeared because it didn't matter anymore. And F-Zero, don't deny, was a fantastic game.
Right. And
that should be the minimum standard someone should point for. That level. If they can't develop their even if they want to do pixel graphics, if they can't develop it to SNES level, we're still talking what, late 90s or early 90s?
Well, there was the FX chip on the cart. The Super FX chip that pushed that stuff. But
F-Zero didn't use that.
Yeah, it did. I'm pretty sure it had a Super FX chip, didn't it?
F-Zero was before that. That was the first game that pushed that was Sky Fox. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Star Fox was way before then. 99 is when the SNES was discontinued. It was released in 90 in Japan. If you're not making something that at least would look modern on a SNES, you're aiming too low.
Well, like I said, it's not just about that for graphics for me. I mean, it's not. It's about what they're going for and, what kind of feel they're trying to make.
So when was the last time you got your NES down off the shelf and started playing some games on it because you love the graphics on it?
I'm playing on my Shield. It's right next to my bed.
Oh, I didn't say Shield. I said on your NES.
Well, if I had cables that worked.
So, I mean...
And then I need to bust out, an old... If you want to go that route, then bust out a TV, an old tube TV and, all that crap. But
what I'm saying is we left those behind 20 years ago. If your graphics are aiming at 20 years ago, I'm going to think the rest of your game aims at the same place.
But you're drawing a conclusion without even knowing about it, just based on looks.
Oh, no kidding. I'm human. That's what we do every time.
Well, I don't.
Yes, you do. Everyone does.
But I also go past and go, oh, well, I don't think that they took the time, so therefore I'm not even going to bother.
I bet you do more than you realize, and you're just saying you don't.
Now you're calling me a liar.
No,
That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying you're unaware of when it happens.
Well, just saying, man.
Everyone does it. It happens.
But
There's nothing we can avoid it as humans.
Right, but you're saying it could be the best game, but if the graphics suck, I'm not going to look at it.
If the graphics stuff, it's not.
That was Cameron's wireless mic that just went away.
Nice. Guess we should have put new batteries in it.
Yeah, that's true. At least we know that they're dead. I've muted Cameron's mic, so you'll have to share now or get new batteries. But we're pretty much done.
Yeah.
But no, it's an interesting discussion. I mean, and it's one of those things that different gamers have different feelings, and I think what it shows between going on, even though John and Cameron were quiet about it, the whole topic, which is fine. John doesn't play games anymore. He only plays EVE, so he only cares about little lights in space and little ships and stuff.
Because the graphics are awesome.
Well,
spreadsheets are great.
Yeah,
spreadsheets are great.
Spreadsheets with some awesome graphics.
Yeah. The literally cell shading.
Yeah.
One cell
at a time.
No, but I think that's the best thing about gaming, though. Everybody has their preferences. Everybody has their likes and dislikes. Studios have their targets of what they want to go for. Maybe they don't want to be AAA. Maybe they just want to make a title to get them known. Who knows? But that's the best thing about it. We all have our preferences. We all like what we like. We all have those weird genres that we like to, like John's. What do we call that game? I don't even call it MMORPG anymore. I just call it Spreadsheet Simulator.
Yeah, Eve.
Mr. John Kessler and Cameron Ashley, you guys are awesome. You guys are quiet. That's all right. You all right over there, John?
Ducky.
Very good.
Well, the last part was getting heated. I really didn't want to get caught up in that.
That's fine. The first part wasn't heated. But it's a discussion. We're passionate about games. We like games.
That's true. That's why we were there at PAX. That's
yeah. Checking out
cool furniture.
Cool furniture, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can convince anybody around here to let me pull the trigger and build a new table, perhaps, or something. I'm just saying.
Well, I noticed viewer, I don't remember the number, mentioned that they wanted one. So
now that viewer, that's somebody you know.
Yes, that is the other half at home.
Yes. And of course, my good co-pilot over there, Mr. Joe Falby on the Minecraft Me show. As always, you know what? It's a good debate. It's a good, healthy debate. At the end of the day, we're all good friends. And now we need Cameron to give us the final word from the dictator's desk. So go ahead. Go ahead. Get there you go. Yeah.
They have to have two microphones. Yeah.
Yeah. like the president, the one on each side, right? Yeah.
I'm just waiting for the teleprompter feed from the backup dictator here.
Final word. Go. We'll give it to you. From the Republic of
that's
Cameron.
That's an inappropriate final word. I really don't have much of a final word. I'm waiting to see what we see tomorrow.
Fair enough. Well, you guys, thanks so much. Oh, let me try this one. Thanks so much for joining us. You guys really do appreciate it. We'll have all of our PAX interviews, and there'll be a lot. I'm not looking forward to all that editing. But hey, yes, we'll have a lot, and it'll be coming out over the next couple of weeks. I say couple of weeks because, I still work a normal full-time job, except for that guy.
Oh, me, yeah.
The one on the left.
Yeah.
But for great fun, you guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hopefully you guys have a great one, and we'll see you maybe next week for another edition of the show, perhaps. For everyone here, Joe Falby, Cameron Ashley, John Kessler, I'm Chasing Us. Until we all talk again, we're all silent. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night.
Jennifer Moore.
Giggity.